This video features a high-end limited edition collectible and is intended for adult collectors.
Welcome to Toy Chat. This is Sang,
Max, and Michael.
And today we are reviewing another Hot Toys. This time it is Doctor Strange from Infinity War.
And we did already review our first Hot Toys ever on our channel, so if you want to check that out, I will link it in the description. We reviewed the new Avengers version of Scarlet Witch. I will also link the Hot Toys website if you want to learn more about this brand in general.
So this action figure was $267 on SideshowCollectibles.com, and it is a Hot Toy exclusive that you can get through their site. I believe he's still available. The link for their site will be down below. So jumping into the packaging, we have a movie footage picture of Doctor Strange on the box, which is slightly different from the Scarlet Witch's version, where it was more of a artistic style silhouette of her. This box is really beautifully detailed. Down in the bottom left corner, you see the Hot Toys symbol as well as the movie masterpiece logo. Continuing at the side of the box, you have this beautiful galaxy-like image along with the Infinity Gauntlet with all 6 stones in it. Comment below if you know all the names. And the Doctor Strange name and logo above the gauntlet. And underneath it just says the 1/6 scale collector's figure.
And on the back of the box, we just have the Doctor Strange logo on top of the product and warning information. We do have a little bit more of that explosive particle effect on the top. As with our previous review, this is an adult collectible intended for collectors ages 15 and up.
And you got a couple different logos on the back. The Hot Toys logo, you got the Doctor Strange symbol back here.
So that is it for the outer sleeve. So we're gonna go ahead and take off the sleeve, show you the box itself. So the front of the box, we have a nice window display, and as you can see, Doctor Strange comes with a lot of accessories, which you're going to hear us
Or you
many
can't
times.
see because there's a bad glare on this. So trust us when we say there's a lot of stuff going on in the box.
We'll take him out of the box and show you a picture of him before he is completely unboxed so you can get an idea of what the accessory pieces look like.
But before that, we should take a look at the other side where we get some of the credits of all the artists and workers that worked on creating this.
So here's another look at the front of the box with Doctor Strange and his accessories before we take him out and unveil all of the incredible details and pieces. And you can see 11 hand molds, a bunch of time magic and magic effects, the Eye of Agamotto.
So removing the extra packaging, we have here everything he comes with in his shiny packaging. And then we also have an additional compartment that's behind him that we were able to pull out, and that includes his stand as well as his magic cape and some additional magic rings.
And just one more real quick on the back of this, you'll see it eventually, but this is where they store the backdrop board that he comes with, which has some cool details, which you'll see in a bit.
Alright, so here is Hot Toys Doctor Strange unboxed. Y'all, I'm looking at him through our viewfinder and it looks like Benedict Cumberbatch. It's pretty wild. It is a very realistic, very well realized adaptation of the actual actor's face. And he does have fully sculpted hair. It has a nice wave to it, and of course it has, little streaks of white on either side, and I like kind of his expression too. He has kind of a stern, kind of slightly raised eyebrow expression, but like Scarlet Witch, it's not a loud or over expressive enough look that it can't still be very dynamic for a lot of different shots and poses for photography. And he's of course sporting Doctor Strange's goatee, and what's really interesting is actually, we noticed that when you do pop his head off, we made a joke last time, like, oh, you could probably just put Scarlet Witch's head on his body. You actually cannot, because hers It's like the head itself, and then the neck goes into like that peg hole. But with him, you actually physically remove like the neck, so the full like head and the neck come off. So actually, this particular Doctor Strange head sculpt is a newly developed one from the previous release. There is a difference in the molding of the hair.
So here we go down to the torso and waistline on Doctor Strange's outfit, and as you can see, it is just incredibly detailed. He has his amazing blue tunic with the leather fabric waistband and belt with lots of different details and latches. If you look really closely to the whatever side this is, that is his sling ring that comes off, and this set actually came with 2 sling rings. And instead of attaching it to his hands, I thought it'd be cool to put it onto his wayside. But back to his tunic, it's in a really nice dark blue with lots of different kind of faded blue texture patterns, along with like embroidery details along the shoulder sides, and like a folded pattern as it goes down, almost as if it's like the tunic has like the draping textures that you'd see in most classical outfits like that. So under the tunic there is the detailing for the long sleeve shirt that is a bit of a richer blue. So here he has some ribbon-like fabric arm wraps with actual like string-like tassels that you can touch and move around and play with. Just lots of really cool detail on this
They're like
guy.
braids, right?
It's pretty fun, yeah.
Also around his neck, you'll see that he is wearing the Eye of Agamotto, and it comes with 2 versions. One where the stone is revealed, and there's a really cool green, almost like an olive green actually, with like the metallic paint it's got, of the stone painted in there. And then there's also a version where it's closed, so you can't see the time stone. This is a really cool feature. The necklace of the Eye of Agamotto is like a leather kind of rope material.
Yeah, and it's pretty simple. You can literally just, pull it up and over his head. You don't need to like latch it or anything. You just take it off over his head. So Doctor Strange is also wearing a nice pair of black boots with deep blue cloth wrapping.
They're black and blue boots. This is like painted detail in the boots on the side, and then there's the wrapping.
You can really see the dimension and the layers in that. So really nice shoes.
All right, so Doctor Strange has a different stand than Scarlet Witch, and this one is from Infinity War. So the base is a hexagon, and it has an image of the Avengers logo. And something that we did not like about his stand is he does not have a plaque like Scarlet Witch. He just has his name printed in the front of the stand. So attached to the base is the stand portion, which is bendable, and you can adjust it to the shape and size that you want him to be in. And it's attached to him via a clamp at the waist.
I like the adjustable aspect of this stand. It's actually really tough and sturdy, and I hope it maintains that. But if you look really closely here, there is a screw that you can unscrew, so you're supposed to be able to move the clamp up and down the rod of the stand, and it just doesn't. It was really hard to get there. I had to stop, which is why for this footage we bent it the way we did, so he could stand flat.
Yeah, he was like on and off trying to use a screwdriver and all that, which I personally don't like that in general. But like, I mean, for display and for a stand, like collectors should be able to easily adjust like how the figure is posed without needing like tools and stuff like that. So so that aspect isn't that great. All right, so here is Doctor Strange's cape. And of course it comes separately, and you have to hook it to his chest using these magnets that Michael was having some issues with.
Right here and here, under those pieces are where there's magnets, and they attach, and you can kind of see right under there the outline of one magnet. That's the part where the magnet felt like it wasn't in the right space, but you can see it's attaching quite nicely It just kind of feels like it was a little bit too low on this
Yeah,
side.
it's not level with the other.
Yeah. But other than that, it worked fine. Sang was able to nicely get the cup to bend. The cape attaches to Doctor Strange through 6 magnets. There's 3 magnets in the cape. 1 where it hits the back, and 2 where it hits the chest on each side of the cuff. And then there's also a magnet, obviously, in the clothings in those same spots.
So the cape itself is really cool. There's a lot of layers and, stitching, and it's really fun too. It's like things you don't even really notice in the movie, like how there's kind of a large, portion of the fabric that has this checkered, almost like diamond-esque pattern, and then I love his big shoulder pad up here.
The bottom of the cape is lined with wire under the stitching, so you can bend it and give it a little bit of an extra shape.
Alright, so here's Doctor Strange holding all his hands and accessories for his hands. So, as we mentioned early in the video, he does come with 11
Additional hands.
So, they're really cool. I think they're much easier to put on than Scarlet Witch's hands. And with his hands, you do have several sets of magic circles. So it's really cool. I think that's an awesome addition where you can pose him in pretty much a lot of different styles.
Yeah. Something really cool about these hands too is when you look really close up, you see like detailed, like what you think are veins, but it actually looks like they did like the scarring details from his accident after it healed, and so every single one of those hands comes with like additional veiny type details, which is really nice when you think about how they paid such close attention to all the details.
So Doctor Strange also comes with even more mandala effect accessories. So we have a really cool, really intricately detailed circular one that goes onto that sculpt, and it's kind of cool what's on the other side too. There's kind of almost like a flame-esque effect on the portion where you actually attach it to his hand sculpt, and we do have one of these square-shaped magical effects over here as well, and once again a lot of really intricate detailing. So what's really cool with this other one here is quite a bit of dimension to that one, because it's one really large mandala attached with a little plastic piece to a smaller mandala in the back. So that's kind of like the ones that I think kind of go around, his arm when he's using some of his magic.
Yes.
Very, very cool. I have to say, one of my favorite accessories that he comes with is this magical sword that kind of looks like it's engulfed in flames, and there's a little bit of translucence to it as well. Yeah, it feels like it's almost like spray painted, kind of. Really gorgeous, and I know like in the films he can, manifest a sword with his sorcery.
This is what Doctor Strange uses in Infinity Wars when he's trying to stop Thanos from using his gauntlet, and he wraps his arms and maybe other parts of his bodies in this like ribbon-like rope magic stream. And it's super cool that they added this into it. Super fun detail. It'd be really nice to have maybe a Thanos figure later on.
Yeah.
To have Doctor Strange attack with this accessory.
So Doctor Strange does come with a pretty elaborate set of instructions that let you know how to do everything you're going to want to do with this figure, including, which hand accessories you have to pair with the effect and magic accessories, which for most of them, or for a lot of them, like it does matter. Like you have to pair them with specific ones, but yeah, it's cool that the instructions let you know which is which. And also there's a little bit of product warning in there as well. So Doctor Strange does also come with a backdrop. Pretty cool, although, there's mixed feelings among us about the fact that Doctor Strange himself is shown on the backdrop. But I actually love that scene in Infinity War where you see him like using his magic and then he has like all the multiple hands. That was super dope. So I guess if you position him properly in front of it, it can look really cool and like the other hands are appearing. But yeah, I do think it's a little bit awkward when there's backdrops and stuff of a character or figure and you see the character like again in the background, but it depends on what you do with it.
Well, and I think if you look at like the base of it, it's got a hexagon shape, which it fits around the Doctor Strange base. And if you do position him up high enough, it's the idea that the arms are in the background and he is in the forefront. If you actually put him up a little bit more, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Regardless, it's nice to come with a backdrop. I was like, gosh, where was Scarlet Witches? All right, so these are our final thoughts on Hot Toys Doctor Strange. You know, obviously, we are a little inexperienced with Hot Toys here at Toy Chat, but this is the second one we've reviewed. Considering this Doctor Strange figure has a really similar price point to the new Avengers Scarlet Witch, he comes with quite a bit more. So I will definitely say I think this is, comparatively speaking, by Hot Toys standards, this is bang for your buck. I feel like this is, at least for now, like probably the definitive Doctor Strange figure, because you know you can get him in pretty much all of his standard looks, and even beyond the standard you can recreate scenes from Infinity War, and I think for big Marvel fans and action figure collectors he will make a welcome addition to any collection if you're okay taking the plunge on that price. But again, you get a lot of stuff.
So I'm really happy about this purchase. I think he's incredibly detailed. You know, every little stitch and fold and design in his outfit is just fantastic. I love his tunic look without the cape. I think the cape is fantastic, but it's really nice that he stands, you know, so well on his own without the cape on. There's so many different types of accessories. I really like that about him. Truth be told, I also find it slightly overwhelming because it's like, what setup do I use? What accessories do I put on him? Do I keep him a bit more classic? Do I get a little over the top? He's described as having over 30 points of articulation, and as I toyed with him, I realized that that's really true. His elbows seem to like fold like 3 to 4 different ways so that you can get the different positions for his magic spells. And when I was toying with his arms, I thought I pulled something out of a socket and realized it was just him bending. So his articulation is a really nice factor as well.
Like compared to some of the other Hot Toys, I think he definitely has the most expressive, posable body with all the hands you're given, and even like the magic rings and accessories allows you to be very creative with the posing and styling of your Doctor Strange.
All right, thank you for joining us for our review of Hot Toys Doctor Strange. Make sure to let us know what you guys think of him in the comments below. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.